Today, I'll be highlighting Carlsbad Caverns in New Mexico. We did the self-guided tour when we were there. The Carlsbad Cavern National Monument is located in the Chihuahuan Desert, about 20 miles southwest of Carlsbad, New Mexico, and about 145 miles northeast of El Paso. It is an amazing geological site, and we highly recommend it for all to see. It was created 265 million years ago by an inland sea through fossil beds, and it contains over 119 limestone caves. What's really interesting about Carlsbad's caves is they are formed differently than typical caves. Typical caves are formed by rainwater slowly dissolving into the limestone that then sinks and enlarges fractures and sinkholes that eventually become a big ground system of rivers and streams that carve out the cave system. While in the Guadalupe Mountains, about 4 to 6 million years ago, hydrogen sulfide waters began to migrate through fractures and faults into the limestone. The water then mixed with rainwater, moving downward from the surface. When the two waters mixed, they combined with oxygen and carried the rainwater, and it formed sulfuric acid. This acid then dissolved the limestones along the fractures and folds, and then created the Carlsbad Caverns that we see today. Around 4 million years ago, the area in Carlsbad Caverns began to look like what you'll see in our video. The cavern itself is over 30 miles long, but only 3 miles is open to the public. We started at the Nature Trail entrance and then ended at the Big Room Trail, and finally took the elevator back to the top to the visitor center. The natural entrance trail is extremely steep, and depending if you are hiking through this, you will gain and lose 750 feet, which is 75 stories. So it's not for the faint of heart. It's about 1.25 miles and should take you about an hour to complete. If you have heart or respiratory conditions, they suggest you don't take this trail, and it isn't accessible for those in a wheelchair. While you're doing this trail, you'll be able to see the Devil's Spring, the Whale's Mouth, and the Iceberg Rock. The Iceberg Rock fell from the cavern ceiling and is a 200,000-ton rock you will see on this trail. The Nature Trail then ends into the Big Room Trail, which is the largest single cavern chamber in North America. This is another 1.25 mile trail, and it's very flat. It'll take about 1.5 hours to walk, and there are parts of the Big Room Trail that are wheelchair accessible. In the blog, we have put a hyperlink to the brochure to help those who have accessibility challenges. One of the funny things is the actor Will Rogers called this cavern the Grand Canyon with a roof over it. It is amazing, and you will see all these different types of cave formations, shapes and sizes, and even a rope ladder that explorers used in 1924. One of the things that I thought was pretty amazing while walking through this cavern is that there are over 19 miles of wiring to 1,000 light bulbs so that you can be able to walk through the cavern and not trip. And then the last piece is the elevator, which is pretty amazing. You will take an elevator from the cavern floor 75 stories, which is about 754 feet up to the visitor's center. It takes 1 minute to travel up the elevator because it travels 9 miles per hour. And the elevator shaft, which is an interesting fact, is 1.5 times the height of the Washington Monument in DC. At the end of our tour, we then drove down to the Choza campground, which is maintained by the BLM. It's a great boondocking spot, a very hard-packed, level gravel lot off of a paved road. It's very convenient located, only 7 miles south of the Carlsbad Cavern National Park on Route 180. Hope you enjoyed the video, and we'll see you next week. Make sure that you subscribe below at RGB Adventures.